All right. So, wait, we got to stop sharing because it says we live now. All right. So now we're live, Shara. So thank you, everyone,
Okay.
for your patience. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, but we are on. Oh, all right. All right. Thank you for that, as always, Josiah. So, again, thank you all for tuning in. So, this Talk About It Tuesday is actually being held today on Sunday, and we have a very, very special guest. And I am so, so excited for her to be here and so, so excited that she told me yes and made time out of her busy schedule to be here. So, for those of you who do not know, I have my little cousin, Nishara, on doing the live. Nishara just recently graduated last Saturday from Northfield High School. And she is looking to go to CSU in the fall for psychology. So I'm just so
Yeah.
proud of her. I'm so excited for her to be here. She has had so many accomplishments over her high school career, but really her senior year. So, Shara, I really want you to just talk about your accomplishments as you were transitioning through your senior year. Because
hmm
senior year is a tough one
Yeah.
when you're figuring out college and all that. So if you can just talk about the transitions you had this year as
Mhm.
a senior in school and outside of school.
Yeah. So in school, it's definitely been an academic journey for me. I'm in the IB diploma, which is basically almost like an AP type of curriculum that you have to do. And the workload is honestly insane. I have to write essays for every class, and it's basically preparing you for the workload that you have to do in college. And so that transition from junior year to senior year was definitely a big toll on my own mental health because I thought that I was not going to be able to do all the work that I was given. And it was just definitely something I had to learn and transition into and have confidence in knowing that I'm able to do it because most of my peers in those higher level classes are white. And so being like one of the only black and Native American students in those positions, it's kind of hard to ask for help because if your peers aren't asking for help, you're like, am I like not smart enough to be doing these classes? And so it was definitely a toll on me. But I have a great support and they were telling me like, you can do it in a shower. And so I ended up taking the IB test these past 2 weeks of April and May, and I get my scores back in July and see if I get college credit for it. Um, and then outside of school, yes. And then outside of school, I'm a part of the Denver Broncos Boys and Girls Club, which is basically an after school program for youth. And I'm involved in the Youth of the Year process. And basically, you're competing against other members at your Boys and Girls Club. And if you win at your Boys and Girls Club, then you go to city. And I won city. And I competed in state and I also won. And basically, you have to write three essays. One's about your personal growth, one is about what matters to you, and the other one is about your club experience. And so I talked about my journey at the Boys and Girls Club and how when I first came, I was involved in all these sports. I really wasn't too deeply connected to the club. I was just going every day to have fun. And as you progress as your time at the club, you learn all the opportunities that happens at the Boys and Girls Club. Um,
Mhm.
and I get lots. All my volunteer hours I've exceeded with the help of the Boys and Girls Club. I have over 300 volunteer hours, and that's great on
Uh-huh.
college resumes. And in, I believe it was April, I believe, I competed in state Youth of the Year, and I won
Mhm.
state. So I'm now the Colorado Youth of the Year for the Denver Broncos Boys and Girls Club.
Come on, Star. Come on. So there is a next step to that. And I
Yeah.
want to get to that next step because that's again another transition you're getting ready to go through next month. And I want to get to that. But I first want to ask because one of the things you brought up while you were in
hmm
school, you brought up mental health and
Yeah.
how you struggled with, the mental health and, the peers and talking with your peers. May is Mental Health Month. I'm curious to know, can you talk more how you managed your mental health as a young adult?
Yeah. Well, it really started my freshman year. We had to go online for school. It was horrible. I could honestly say that I didn't have any motivation to do any schoolwork. I laid in bed for all my classes besides gym, and I cheated that too. I just put the Chromebook on my feet and was moving my feet during the classes because that's how you got your grade. Um, and so freshman year for me was definitely hard. I'm more of an A+ student. In freshman year, I had B's and C's, and that wasn't like my best academic year. Um, and like I hear all the time, like your freshman year is very important. It's like your borderline start, like it's setting the tone for how your other 3 years of high school are going to go. And so I started off high school with not very good GPA. My motivation for myself wasn't the best because, again, I couldn't go out with my peers because of COVID. And so transitioning into sophomore year, I played basketball and volleyball, so I had some peers that I made with those sports. And so sophomore year, it was almost like your freshman year. Like I'm just starting to meet new people and being put in spaces where I never usually wasn't in. I joined BSA, which was Black Student Alliance, and I was able to find peers because I went to a majority white school. And so I was starting to learn new things about myself, what I was interested in, what I wasn't interested in. And again, I play sports, and so I was able to balance. It was hard to balance it, but going to practice and then coming home around 9 o'clock, having to do homework that you didn't do, and study for tests that you didn't think you may have had the next day or so. Because there's many times I forgot the deadlines that I had, and so that was definitely hard for me. And then your sophomore year, you're required to take one AP course, and I took AP geography because sometimes I think you need to know your geography. And looking back, I don't know anything about geography. And so I was required to take that, and then I chose to do the IB diploma, which I graduated with. And the transition was definitely hard because I didn't know the people who I was in classes with. Most of them I thought were smarter than me. I didn't really have much self-confidence with myself. I had struggled in math. I didn't get an A in math until my junior year. So it was definitely hard. And then I just had to balance the fact that I'm an athlete, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm being put in these classrooms for a reason. And it was more just understanding that I can do what my peers are doing and I can even do it better. And so
I love that.
in the summertime, yeah.
So
You're
would
gonna
you
say something next?
say, I was going to ask, like, one of the things you talked about is comparing yourself to your peers and that self-confidence. So can you tell us what helped you build your self-confidence? Because I work with a lot of youth, and self-confidence is one of the things that they struggle with, having that self-confidence. And I'm sure you see that, amongst your peers, and it's probably harder to even tell amongst your peers who struggles with confidence, and who doesn't. So can you tell us what you did to help you build upon your self-confidence?
Well, I think the biggest thing is definitely social media. I know we say that a lot of times, but what you put on your phone and the people you follow, you're comparing yourself to their highlights, because on social media it's basically every showing their positive things, all the good things that happen in their life. And so I definitely had logged out of social media for a while, and saying positive affirmations, like looking in the mirror telling yourself you're beautiful, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, was also something that helped me. Lots of times I could talk about myself really well, but I really wouldn't believe it. And so I would have to face the fact that if I can talk in the mirror and say I'm a beautiful person, then you're going to start to believe it. And so I did that almost every day. And now I'm the most confident person in myself than I've ever been in the past 17 or 18 years of my life. So, yeah.
I'm on 18. Okay. So talking to yourself and how you talked with yourself. And one of the things you said was it wasn't easy for you to do at first. So is something that you did every day. So would you say you developed this into your routine, like in the morning or at night? Like, how did you do that? And what would you say to your peers who may be struggling with self-esteem?
Mhm.
What would you
Yeah, it's definitely
suggest they do?
yeah, it's definitely something I've added to my routine. Specifically more in the morning because you wake up and you're like, I need to have a good day today, and so I'm saying like I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm intelligent. Today is going to be a good day. And the what I would say to my peers is, it's okay to not feel like you're the best person in the world. It's okay to have those days where you're not like feeling yourself, but don't let that take control and be something that dwells on you every single day. It's okay to put your phone down sometimes and get off Snapchat, sending streaks and getting off Instagram and posting TikToks because sometimes you're faking it. You're not your real self. And so I would definitely say put your phone down sometimes. Look in the mirror and say, where I am today, am I okay with that? Can I do something today to be more productive?
I like that. Okay. I like that. One of the things you brought up too, when it came to building upon your self-confidence
Mm-hmm.
was, and let me backtrack. Adults, you can do that too. I know you were saying that for your peers, but adults, it's okay for you to get up and say today, it's how you talk to yourself in the morning can definitely set the tone for your day. So I
Exactly.
love that you do that. So adults, you can do that as well. But another thing you talked about was sports. Do you feel sports played a role in building your confidence?
Yes. So, um, uh, rewind a little bit. So, my freshman year, there was only 8 girls on the varsity team because of all the restrictions of COVID. And so, as a freshman, my coach really instilled in me that you have to come in wanting to take a senior spot. And I ended up being like one of the only freshmen who made varsity, and I started as well.
Get in the camera.
And so basically,
Get out,
wow.
Auntie.
So being the only freshman on varsity and starting was definitely something that changed my perspective, that I could do whatever I put my mind to. I had worked hard to be in that position, in the starting position. And so as a freshman, my coach said, you have an impact on your team and your people around you. And so I didn't really think like I really did. And then the way I carried myself around my teammates was definitely important. Like as a freshman, I had a really big impact. And then transitioning to my senior, I had but
Uh-oh.
my team really up to me. And so from junior year to senior year was definitely a big way on how I gave myself confidence.
Hold on, Shari. You're going choppy. I don't know if it's me or can you say something now?
Is it hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can you see me too?
Mm-hmm. I can see you.
Oh,
Josiah, can you hear and see
because my
her
mom
okay?
said
I don't know if Josiah is still. I can hear you and see you all good. Let me see.
okay.
I'm gonna have Josiah see in the chat. What did your mom say? She can see.
She said she couldn't see me.
I could see you. Let me hold on. Josiah, can you see Nishara and hear her okay? I'm gonna have to go to the. Let me see. Bear with us, guys. I can see you and hear you good. Oh, you paused. Hold on, guys. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. Let me see. All right. I can hear you and see you. Say something now, Shara.
Yo.
Okay. I can hear you. All right, I think
Okay.
we're good now.
I don't know what my mom is talking about.
And I could see you on the. Hold on, let me tell him. Sorry, guys, we're just experiencing technical difficulties. Work with us. Okay. All right. So we're. All right. Okay. Your mom said you were breaking up, but I think it's back now. So, all right. I think we're back. Shar, are you there? And I think you're paused now, Shara. Okay. So Nashara is fixing. Nashara is fixing her service, and then she will be back. So if y'all have any questions for Nashara, please drop them in the chat.
Can you see me?
Yep. I can see you. And I can hear you okay. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right, say something now, Shara.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you and see you. All right.
Okay.
All right, so we're back, everyone. She's back. That's the devil. That is the devil. All right. So you were so if anybody has any questions for Nashara, please drop them in the chat. I know she would love to answer some questions, but right now I'm gonna ask you all the questions so we get the questions. So you were talking about your freshman year and you were mentioning your coach told you to pretty much work for your spot. You have to earn your spot. So, and then it went off after that.
Okay. So yeah, basically, well, let me just say this to make it clear. I got a new coach in my senior year. But he had basically told me that, you know, you have to work for your spot. And so when I had got my new coach my senior year, she instilled in us that she was a African American coach. She used to coach at Manual High School. And so when she had transitioned to coaching at our school, it was definitely a different um, vibe, I would say. Um, we had to like trust in her again. Like we just um, got to know her as a coach, and so now we had to get to know her personally because I feel like you have to trust your coach because she's the one who's calling all the calls, and we had to put our trust into her hands. And so, um, by far, my senior year of basketball was our best year ever. She had really instilled in me that I can do anything I put my mind to, and then I have a powerful voice. So this year was the first time in history that we had made it to the state championship. We had lost, unfortunately, but we had made it to the state championship. And we had all the teams we played throughout the season besides East, no shade. Um, we blew them out by like lots of points. And so we blew them out by many points. And so
just a little shade. Come on now. Just a little shade, you know, to the East Angels. We love y'all. It's all love. Just a little bit though. No,
but she had really told me that we in the beginning of the season we made vision boards, and that goes again to manifestation, saying those positive affirmations. So as a team we had made goals that we wanted to achieve, and again we've done this in the past with our past coaches, but it wasn't something that he instilled in us every day to look at what we want to do, what do we want to accomplish as a team. And so she had instilled in us that we have to look at these goals every day. Are we in practice? Are we trying hard enough? Are we running to our full potential? Are we getting low on defense? Like, she was very paying attention to the small details. And so I feel like that's kind of where our confidence grew, because she wasn't believing in us. And so it kind of made it easier for us to believe in ourselves as a player and as our team. And just fast forwarding, it paid off really well. We beat Windsor High School, which was a team we lost to last year in the first round of playoffs, by 60 points. And then we beat them this year by like 20 points in the grade 8. And then we had played another team who we may have thought, Air Academy. They were the number 2 ranked school. We had beat them in overtime and upset them in the championship. Definitely lots of adversity. It was definitely a hard mental game for sure. Like, as a captain, it was hard for me to make sure that I'm doing okay and making sure that my teammates are doing okay. But, I kind of brushed to the side of my personal feelings. And as a captain, if they see me smiling and pushing through, then it's going to be the same for them. And so at halftime, instead of my coach speaking, it was more of me saying, like, we can do this. We came down from a deficit before. Like, it's not something we're new to. And like, the outcome wasn't what you wanted, but it definitely had set the tone for the next years at Northfield for basketball.
I would agree. I would agree. So, and even watching that game on TV, it was a lot of emotions, and I can tell there was a lot of emotions for you. So how did you maintain that? Because like you said, you're captain, you're a senior. So would you say a lot was on your shoulders? And if so, how did you carry that?
Yeah, there was going into the game. My coach just said, "Do you?" And so I definitely felt like, oh my God, like, if I'm not performing my best, then who else is going to, step up? And so it was definitely me just like taking a step back, realizing that we have to trust each other and trust the system. And then, national anthem, during the national anthem, I take time to just pray. I usually pray before the game and saying, like, save from injury. We don't want nobody getting hurt. And then just making sure that, if anything goes wrong, I'm the person who is talking to the ref and making sure we don't get no technical fouls. So I had to definitely keep great posture and posture during the game. And so when we were getting to the second quarter, that was when, the deficit got higher and higher from like 12 to 20. We didn't score at all the first quarter. And so I was like, what can I do as a captain to make sure that, my teammates are still doing okay? So I had said, like, it's not over. We have another 3 quarters to work, and like, it's not over. And I remember telling my point guard, like, look at me in my eyes, because she was, pouting, and she was like, I can't go to my right side because it's my strong hand. They watched film on our plays. And so I looked at her and I said, you're the best player on this court. You're the point guard. You know how to control the floor. And so when I told her that, there was definitely a shift, because in my opinion, I feel like the point guard is kind of like, the talker person on the floor. And so if I kept my composure, and I know my teammates look up to me, vice versa, they would keep their composure. And we definitely fought hard throughout the game. So I'm definitely proud of myself. I know we didn't win, but I didn't cry in the locker room. I was like, we're going to win this. We may have not won, but I was definitely proud of how I handled the situation and not getting in my head, because that's something that happened in previous years from like my sophomore and junior year. I would get in my head easily. And so as a senior, you can't do that because everyone's looking at you if you're down.
Uh-oh. Can you hear Shar?
Yeah.
Shar, say something. Okay. It's like the Wi-Fi is going in and out for you. Okay. I think you're back now. Okay. So first of all, so proud of you, because again, just even watching you on the TV, first of all, your little cousins was like, They were so excited to see you on the TV. But you can just see how focused you were and how passionate you were for the game and just all the emotions that it came with. And like you said, you guys didn't win, but it sounds like you took that loss and turned it into a win. How would you what would you say to youth who are finding a struggle with when they're may not be losing like a game, but feeling down in life and things aren't going their way? What encouragement could you provide to them?
Well, that's a great question. I would definitely say just look at the outcomes. I know lots of times people say, like, when you think of a solution, or maybe outcome that can come with that solution. So, I'm thinking positive. Like I said, I was thinking positive. I'm gonna get this rebound. I'm gonna get this block. If I don't make this free throw, I'm gonna make the next one. So definitely thinking positive.
So thinking positive. It got a little choppy at the beginning and towards the middle. So can you repeat it? I think I can hear you now.
Okay. I had said just making sure you think positive. There are many outcomes that can come by just the way you go about this situation or problem. If you're going about it one-sided and not really thinking about, rather I'm speaking in general, but the person's point of view, maybe the other people may have think about it. Outcomes that come within the situation of going into the problem, saying I can think something positive isn't just something positive is something that I feel lots of people can take into their situations.
I love that. Hold on, guys. Give us a second. Let's take a quick pause. Hold on. Just a second. We're going to fix the technology and we'll be right back because Shar is dropping some knowledge and I want it to be heard and not partially taken.